Hey, I'll talk to you a little bit later, Oprah, okay? All right now. All right, tell Stephen I said hello. All right, I will. Okay. All right. Hey, what's going on, man? It's your man, Rick the Don. Listen, for every 5,000 records that I sell, I'm giving back $2,500. No limits to money. Ha! For buying Limits to Mercy. Ha! And just to show you I'm not playing, go to my IG right now at the Rick the Don to find out who was the very first person to buy my album, Limits to Mercy, and get $100. That's how I do it. And every time I sell 5,000 records, I'm giving $2,500 back because there's no limit to money for buying Limits to Mercy. Won't he do it? Go buy my album, I'm giving money back. It's that simple. Recap, go to rickthedon.com. Click albums, buy Limits to Mercy. Make sure you include your email. I'll get a notification that you just bought the album. Hello? He did. I got him. And every time I sell 5,000 records, I'll be kicking back $2,500. And if you help me get to 1 million records sold, no lie, I'm giving back $1 million. I don't even care no more. Need more convincing? How about this is the hardest rap album you've ever heard in your life? Got Crazy Bone on the album, Quentin Miller on the album, Biggs on the album, B. Rich on the album, I'm on the album. What? Go buy the hardest album you might ever hear in your life right now for your chance to win. No limits to money for copying Limits to Mercy. Let's get it. I want Jake Paul. This is your brain on Rick. This is your brain on Rick. I want Jake Paul. I want Jake Paul. Let's go, Jake. Stop running. I want Jake Paul. I want Jake Paul. Where you running? Why you running? I want Jake Paul. I want Jake Paul. Why you running? Why you running? Why you running? I want Jake Paul. I want Jake Paul. I want Jake Paul. I'm out in the rain, Jake. I ain't scared, Jake. Huh? Can you keep up? What'd you say? Can you stand the rain? Come on, Jake. I want Jake Paul. Hey, who said I ain't got no stamina? Why you playing video games with Pokemon? I'm outside. Working it out. Can you stand? That's right. Rick the Don. Charity boxing champ. I'm out.
This Master P and Rick the Don album Limit to Mercy dropping January 7, 2022. And it's no feeling, man, when you work hard, put your trust and faith in God and never give up, you're going to always be on top. I see you at the top, Rick the Don.
What's happening? Rick the Don. Always got it going on. His new project is called Limits to Mercy. Limits to Mercy. He's dropping January 7th at rickthedon.com. He's putting it down. I suggest you cop. He's a legend in the making. Music is fearless and original. One time, two times for my man Rick the Don. Cop.
Rick the Don. Don, what's going on, man? It's the big baller, baby. Yeah, I'm here to give you that huge shout out. I know what's going down with you, man. I hear you got that Limits to Mercy album release, and I know it's about to be down. I love your style, man. So check this out. I'm calling all ballers to support Rick the Don's new album, Limits to Mercy, on January 7th at rickthedon.com. Go check it out. Keep it right and tight, because if you don't get right, y'all gon' get left. Rick the Don, go do your thing. Big ballers out, baby. And
Yeah, I used to roll backwoods. Rick the Don's good wherever he goes. 1 million and one flows, depositing dough. Said you down with the mafia family, let me know. Yeah, number one, I don't do number two. They watching how I do, because I'm really hood. Red hoodie, gold jewelry, too groovy. Might lose me, don't approach with the foolery. Keep the two on me, homie, you don't know me. Rick the Don, the one and only. Yeah.
Welcome to the Really Hood Podcast. It's your man, Rick the Don. Check it, holla at your boy. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Broken Heart Shirts, where I got these dope Really hoodies, Really Hood hoodies. You can go get you one right now. That's right, go get yours right now. I got other colors as well. So I had to show you how this mug look. I'm sorry for the wrinkles. I'm from Detroit. We just wear the wrinkles out. So by, maybe the third or fourth episode of me wearing this, all the wrinkles will be gone. I ain't got time to be doing no ironing, baby. I'm busy. Check it. Today's episode is about weed. Marijuana. And I would like to talk about my journey with marijuana and where I am now in life, and maybe a couple theories that I have about marijuana. I started smoking weed at the age of about 16. I think 16 was the year where I did all the bad stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. So if you got sons that's like moderately good, we're not talking about them gangster nucks that some of y'all got. All right, them, for them, you got to watch them at age 8. They bad at age 8. But if you got a moderately decent kid, not too bad, not too good, about 16 is where things start to rev up. All right, 16 is where, or when I lost my virginity. 16 is when I tried marijuana for the first time. 16 is where, I got in a stolen vehicle. By the grace of God, I made it to this point because I did a lot of stuff at 16 that probably a lot of people didn't make it through. All right. But check it. 16, I tried marijuana, and where was I? Oh, I remember where I was at. I'm going to tell you my first weed story. I know my weed head watchers are going to enjoy this story. All right. But look, what happened was my boy came over, and I think he stayed over. You know how back in the day, your friends would come over, your best friends from school would come over, and, it was him. And I had my other best friend, he lived next door. So that was the dopest situation. My homeboy from school stayed with me. Shout out to Tez. And then, my boy Brandon, he lived next door. So and really honestly, anytime I did anything bad in my life, it's because of Tez. Tez was the reason I did anything bad. I was a good kid, except when Tez came around. So Tez was a very bad influence on me. So Tez came over. And I don't know where we got this weed from. I think Tez probably brought it, right? So me, Tez, and Brandon, we kind of link up and like, hey, you want to smoke some weed? So we got the little blunts or whatnot. We went up to we smoked weed at a park, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a playscape or whatever. We went to the playscape. We smoked. I remember taking a couple puffs and thinking to myself, like, man, I don't really feel nothing. Like, I don't feel nothing at all. It's like, it was just like a waste of, I'm like, man, this is overhyped. But I'll never forget, about 15 minutes later, man, the world turned orange and purple. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? And then like everything outside of like this space turned black. So only thing I can see was like from this space right here. And it was all orange and purple. And then from there, my life was like a movie. Like from that point forward, everything that happened was like a movie. I can still vividly remember some of the things I said, some of the things I did, even though I was 16 at the time, because it was so unforgettable. It was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I will never forget this. My parents, my mother and my stepfather, they end up leaving with a friend. And the friend they left with left their kids with us, me and Tez. We were supposed to be the responsible like, teenagers watching other little kids or whatever. Back in the day, man, parents would just leave you at the crib. You could be 16. I would think I was in the house by myself at age 6. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think my mom was like, look, close the door, lock the door, don't answer the phone, don't answer the door. I'm gonna call you, let the phone ring once, and if it rings twice, then I'm gonna call back, and that's me. So if somebody call, hang up, and then call again, that's me. And as far as the door, don't touch it, because I got keys. That was the rules. So anyway, going back to the story, my mother and my stepfather left with their little friends. And their friends dropped their kids off with me and Tez. We were supposed to be like the authority figures watching the kids. But we was high. So I remember us just fighting the little kids, punching them like, beating the little kids up. I remember all that. And that was my first time smoking marijuana. And because I was 16 and very impressionable, it was like, man, I got to get that feeling every day. I need that feeling to be myself. And that's what happened, man. I ended up smoking a lot more marijuana. It became an addiction. It went from being this fun thing that I did to something that I needed to do. And I didn't really feel like myself unless I was high. It was like, I need this to get through the day. I'm not even sure how I got through high school. I forgot some things that happened in high school because I was high all the time. But once I graduated from high school, then it kind of went to the next level, meaning that I start to sell weed at this point. And then I start using it even more, talking about 2 or 3 blunts a day. All that stuff started to happen. Now let's talk about what happened to me and how my behavior changed as a result of marijuana. Now, obviously, I just pointed out that I clearly became dependent on it. But I want to point out something that never gets talked about. Smoking marijuana made me a lot more violent. A lot of people who know me from my weed smoking days, if they see me now, they're going to be like, yo, Rick has changed. He got soft, or they might say he got white now or something like that. They might say something like that. And it's really not that. It's just this is how I always was inside. In my brain. This is kind of how I was when I was in middle school before I ever smoked. I was like a good kid. I was never like a gangster guy. Like this, that's a lie. Like I'm not a gangster at all. I'm just really, I mean, it depends on how you define gangster, right? I will ride for my people. I will go to bat for my family. I don't know if that's gangster though. That's just being honorable. Like I'll go and tear something down for like 5 people in my life. In my marijuana years, I was the most gangster version of myself. I would have to admit, in those marijuana years, I was actually like a gangster, like the stereotypical version. I always had a gun on me for some reason. I was ready to kill people, like legitimately kill people. Marijuana told me that I have another version of myself in me, right? That I have suppressed. It is not the version that I display to you today, but it's certainly a version of myself that exists. And I would argue that my marijuana years pulled that person out, and I was just violent, man. I got in a lot of fights. Like I said, I always had a gun on me. I was ready to kill people, and it wasn't to kill innocent people or hurt people or go out there and just rob people. It wasn't that kind of person. It was like, I'm ready to kill somebody for trying me. Like if this person tried me on this day, while this thing is on me, they gonna get killed. It's a fact. That was some of my thoughts. That's what it was like. I'm ready to do what I gotta do. And honestly, that person, like I said, has been suppressed. Am I still ready to protect myself? 100%. At the same time, I don't wake up thinking about it. Like I remember during that time in my marijuana years, I would wake up like just ready for violence. Like I would wake up on my bed and be like, let's do it. I'm ready to let's whoever want it, let's get it done. I'm not playing no game. I was like in that type of mind space. And I can't tell you if that was because of marijuana or because of youth. I was like 19, 20, 21. I don't know which one it was. Was it because I was young and stupid and full of testosterone? Or was it actually because marijuana did something to my brain and kind of warped the way I was thinking? I'm gonna go with marijuana. I'm just gonna be honest. There's a lot of 19, 20, 21s out there that don't think like that. That don't wake up thinking about killing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I remember the day. Let's talk about the day I quit smoking marijuana. So I went to the corner store and it was this guy standing outside, and I was selling weed at the time. So I went up to him. I was like, hey bro, I got that weed. You want to smoke? And he looked like he smoked weed. He looked like a guy from the hood. He looked like one of my peers. So when I asked him if he wanted to buy some weed, he was like, nah, bro, I don't even smoke. Bro, when I say that shook me and just destroyed my whole situation, because at that time, every single black boy, man, male, and probably most of the females in my circle, they smoked. Like if I could see a person, if I can look down my street and see a person, I know they smoke. Unless they was like 70 and up. Everybody 69 and down, that sounds freaky, was a smoker at that time in my space. You know, and if they didn't smoke, they drank. So when this guy, he had to be every bit of 20 years old, 21 maybe. When he said he didn't smoke, and it wasn't like he was like wearing a backpack and he was a scholar with a pencil in his ear. Like, no, he was a street cat. And when he said he didn't smoke, that threw off my whole equilibrium. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. He ain't say like, nah, bro, I got my own weed. Like, oh, no, bro, I already smoke. He said, I don't smoke. So when he said that, I was like, after I paused for maybe 30 seconds and came back to my realization, I was like, hey, bro, so how did I had to ask this question. I'm like, so how did you quit? Like, bro, you can't just say you don't smoke and just walk away. How did you quit? And he was like, hey, man, I took some Niacin pills. I was like, what is a Niacin pill? Oh, yeah, I remember Niacin pills. My boy Kente from Inkster High School, shout out to Kente. I don't know what Kente was doing, but he always had to take Niacin pills. So he'll come to class scratching and itching. I don't know if he had to drop for a PO or I don't know what he was doing. He was crazy. But I remember Niacin pills from Kente back in high school. So when he said he took Niacin, I was like, really? So then he explained it. He said the Niacin goes into your body, into it basically clears out your blood and cleans your blood and cleans your body. And I was like, wait, that's probably why you itch. Because it's cleaning your blood and all that stuff. So when he told me that, I was at that point when I was smoking weed where I was starting to feel bad. A lot of people don't talk about that part. When I was smoking weed, I started to begin to feel bad, like I was sinning against God. I felt like I was doing the wrong thing in life. It felt good, but then when the weed started to die down, I felt like I was a sinner. Like I felt like I was doing something bad. I felt dirty, right? And I didn't really have anybody to talk to about that because everybody else seemed to be enjoying it, but not me. I was like, man, I'm starting to feel kind of bad for smoking all the time. I was like, I got to try this Niacin. I went and bought some Niacin pills. I took it. I started scratching and itching. And one thing that dude said, he said, when you take those Niacin pills, what it does is it destroys the craving from the inside so that you don't crave weed anymore because it's cleaned all the weed out your system. And when he said that, it made sense. I was like, oh, that's how you stop smoking because you don't have the urge anymore. Most people still smoke marijuana because they have an urge that just will not go away. So if you smoke a blunt in about a day or two from that point, your body is going to want it again. But when you take Niacin comes in, clears out all the marijuana stuff from your system. And then therefore, all you have to do is have moderate willpower and you will not want to smoke again. And that's what happened. I can't believe it. I am a testimony to how that works. I took Niacin that day. I was in the car with my boys and we smoked weed. And I was like, hey, fellas, let's go ahead and smoke this blunt. It's going to be my last blunt. They're like, Rick, you lying. You lying. So I was like, no, bro, this is going to be my last blunt right here. Me and my boys. I even asked my boys to pray with me. I don't know what made me do that. Actually, the Bible says this, that if you pray with somebody in Jesus' name, that it will be done. It will be true. So my boys knew even though I was in the streets, even though I was about that action, they also knew I was a Christian and I believed in God heavily. They already knew that, and they accepted that, the fact that I was that way. I had this thing going on, like, hey, I'm a gangster out here, but at the same time, God come first. That's a fact. And they knew that about me. So I went to my boys. Shout out to Day Day. I don't know where he is. I ain't talked to him in a long time, but I was like, Day Day, and it was one other guy in the car. I forgot who it was. I was like, hey, this is my last blunt, and I want you to pray with me, bro, and help, pray that this be my last blunt. My boys. We smoked. My boys prayed with me. I went in the house. I popped like 1 or 2 Niacin pills and then started itching, went to sleep, woke up. I was like, all right, this is my day 1. And I think I probably popped another 1 or 2 that day, the second day. And then the next day I popped 1 or 2. So by that point, my system was crystal clear. I don't know if it was the prayer or the pills or a combination of both. But from that day forward, smoking weed was never an issue again. Niacin just might be the hidden ingredient for anybody out there who wants to stop smoking marijuana. Go get you some Niacin from either Amazon or GNC or any medical store. Get Niacin pills. You don't have to show any kind of identification or anything like that. If you want to be on the safe side, consult with your doctor first. Niacin generally is just good for you, not just for marijuana purposes, but between 500 and 1,000 milligrams, if I'm not mistaken, due to my research, it is safe, no problems, right? If you are a healthy human being, I think 5 to 1,000 milligrams is good. If you have any worries, I would go 500 milligrams, and you should be solid. Quitting marijuana did something to my brain. It cleared it up. For the first time, I was thinking clear again. And I remember what happened when I stopped smoking marijuana as a result of praying and taking the Niacin pills. I had a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is when one way of thinking shifts to another way of thinking. I had went from this gangster ready to kill everybody, survival of the fittest, to like, oh shit, bro, I'm still living in my dad's basement. What the fuck? It was almost like the minute I started smoking, my brain went into a weed jail. And I stayed in this weed jail and I had these weed thoughts and I acted a certain way and did this and all that. And then when I stopped smoking weed, I got out of weed jail and I had been dropped in this world and I looked around like, how did I get here? It felt like that. I mean, within weeks of stop smoking weed, I moved out my dad's basement. I went back to live with my mother. Then I got back into school about 3 or 4 months later because I had to wait for the fall semester, if I'm not mistaken. And from there, I haven't looked back because marijuana changed the way that I thought. It changed my mindset. It changed my behavior. And to be frank, it made me more violent. I think the reason we have so much black on black death in the hood is not because the government is putting guns, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I think it's because of marijuana. That might be the most dangerous thing that is not being discussed. If you put, marijuana, it does something to you. It makes you paranoid and all these different things. You put all these people in one little jungle and you make them all high and they're not looking at things in a realistic manner. They're all in this really fuzzy visioned state. They're all thinking in a way that is not natural, I should say, because when you're smoking, it's like, isn't marijuana a hallucinogen? Right? It's a hallucinogen. Am I saying it right or am I saying it wrong? I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but then again, I might be saying it right. It's a hallucinogen. So you got all these people off this hallucination drug around each other, and they're not hearing things and seeing things clearly. And they're also more aggressive. Man, there you go. That's your recipe for disaster. I would like to know if there has been any research on whether or not marijuana changes the chemical properties of the brain to make people more violent. Now, I know this sounds like one of those 1960 experiments where they said marijuana makes you want to do this and no, it's not that. It's just I was a real user, and I can attest to the fact that marijuana made me more violent. It did. And when I stopped smoking marijuana, it changed. I was like, yo, what am I doing? It changed everything. And if I continued to smoke marijuana, I would not be here in front of you today. I would be in jail, dead, or still trying to sell my CDs person to person or something crazy like that, bro. Or I'll probably be a rapper, world famous. I can't tell you, but I will tell you this. I am happy where I am today. I would rather be this person than that person any day of the week, any day of the year. You know, any minute of my existence, I would rather be this person than whatever was going to come of that. Because I had beef everywhere. I was, in a lot of drama. I was disrespectful. I was dissing people, diss songs, beef. It's just like, bro, what in the world? So if anybody who knows or knew me from that era, when I'm 19, 20, 21, and they see me today, they might be asking themselves like, bro, he not the same person. He different. It's because I don't smoke no more. That's probably what it is. I quit marijuana. That's what happened. And, it's not that I got soft or I got nicer or I'm trying to be white or I'm trying to be corporate or it ain't none of that. It's just I stopped smoking. So I'm back to myself. And I guarantee you, and maybe it wouldn't be the same effect, but if I went back to smoking, the way I was then, I would argue I'd probably go back to some of my old ways. But being clear-minded is just being clear-minded. I'm clear-minded. You got to admit something. When you smoke marijuana, you are intentionally dumbing yourself down. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Matter of fact, anytime you take any drug or alcoholic substance, you are dumbing yourself down. And in a lot of ways, that can be a good thing because you might be stressed out and you need a way to kind of wind down from a hard week or a hard day. But at the end of the day, when you're taking a substance, you're intentionally dumbing yourself down. Like, you're doing that to yourself. When I stopped doing that, my higher level thinking processors start to just run. And I was like, let's get it. I started going to school. I took over college. I was killing Ypsilanti. I was in them art classes with all those Europeans, tearing them up. They're like, what is this black boy? Who is this little black boy in this art class? Tearing them up. And I wasn't going for no BS, no racism, none of that. I wasn't going for none of it. I was there for all of it, all the smoke. And they're like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Where you come from? I came from the hood, and I'm still, to this very day, I'm a bad man. I haven't lost all my violence. I haven't lost all of my tenacity when it comes to protecting myself and things of that nature. I still have a lot of that in me. But the thing is, I'm not looking for problems. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not offensive with it. I'm not going out trying to start drama. I'm not looking people in the eyes trying to show them I'm real bad. I ain't doing none of that. I'm minding my business, staying in my space, and I'm praying that everybody does the same thing as it relates to me. Now, check out this rap, and then I'll come back and I'll wrap this whole topic up, and we'll get up out of here.
Girl, Miss Capri, baby, show a little love to brokenheartshirts.com and my boy Rick the Don. His shop just went live. Check out his shirts. Love you.
Flexing. I'm that dude. Flexin'. Keep them two. Flex. Ow. After the party, it's the after party. Sippin' on Bacardi, ladies getting naughty. Gon' do your dance, leave them in a trance. You are so blessed, I am no guest, couldn't care less. I'm the boss,
cause I paid the cost. Never took a loss, golden cross, cause I like the floss. Don't care what it costs.
We gon' flex, take a rain check, cause Ricky is next on your neck. Don't forget to stretch, go get you some rest. This a move.
Alright, man, I hope y'all enjoyed that tune. What am I trying to say in this video, in this episode? Listen, I'm saying that I used to smoke marijuana on a daily basis. I had a lot of fun with it. It really got me through some tough times. But at the same time, I realized that marijuana was ultimately destructive in my life. Everything changed on one day. Me meeting some random guy outside of a liquor store and him telling me that he doesn't smoke, and the reason why he didn't smoke was Niacin pills. When I took Niacin pills, it changed my entire perspective, and I never have looked back since that day. I looked back a couple times, smoked a couple blunts here and there, I ain't gonna lie, but I took my Niacin right after that, and it has never been an addiction since I stopped that first time, right? Here's what I would argue. Though marijuana is cool, it's a fun recreational drug, at the same time, nobody should be smoking every single day. And of course, I'm not your parent and your dad, and this is America, so do what you want to do. But if you asking for my professional opinion, you are missing a version of your perspective that is what you need to accelerate what you're trying to do, right? You might be successful, but I guarantee you stop smoking weed, you'll become more successful because you'll be using more of your brain, more of your perspective, more of your vision. When I smoked, I was tunnel vision. It just was like, I can only see this. But when you stop smoking, it removes the filter and you can see everything as it is. It's clear. Same thing with alcohol. Nobody should be drinking alcohol every single day of their existence. Nobody. So is it cool to, on the weekends, kind of get yourself together, right? Yeah, that's cool. But you should never make it a habit, so much of a habit that it takes over your entire life and your mindset. And all of a sudden you wake up to smoke and you wake up to drink. That should never be the case. And if it is, you need to do something about that. Rehab or something. Now, I don't know about alcohol, but I can say for sure, when it comes to marijuana, Niacin pills is the solution. Go take you about 1,000 milligrams every day. 500 to be safe, but I did 1,000. Are you gonna itch? You're gonna be kind of uncomfortable. Your body and your blood gonna get warm, but it's gonna clear you out. And all you have to do from that point is pray to God or whoever you believe in, and just say, give me the strength to sustain myself and not go back to that way of thinking. Do I still miss marijuana sometimes? A little bit. I do. I think once I retire from like music and my businesses are running, they're all multi-million-dollar, trillion-dollar, billion-dollar businesses, I'll go back to kind of smoking some weed here and there occasionally and just kind of take it easy. Because I've earned that. But in my 30s, in my youth, nobody should be smoking marijuana every day in their youth. This is where you're supposed to you build your legacy, make your money. This is where you actually build your house, build your building, build your foundation. In your 20s and your 30s, that's when you're supposed to be building. When you smoking, you chilling, like just looking at the wall, like when you smoking, you be sitting there thinking about the color of raindrops. Tell me I'm lying. Am I lying? When you smoking, you be sitting there trying to analyze the way this coffee smell. So that smell like a wet dog, and that's what you be doing when you high. I know, because I was there. When you smoking, you be like, why they call it now or laters? Oh, because you can eat one now, but then you can eat one later. Am I lying or what? Am I lying? That's what y'all be doing when y'all high. And I know, because I used to be right there with you, like, is toast black, brown, or beige? I was right there with you. But listen, now I'm on the other side of that. And I'm like, bro, I don't have time to be sitting there thinking about that kind of stuff. There's so much going on. This world is so beautiful. And when you stop smoking, you will actually get back to your original self. Smoking weed has changed who you are as a person. I promise you that. It's changed you. And not for the better. I promise you that. So when you get to getting back to cleanness, it's going to bring you back to who you was when you was a kid. When I stopped smoking weed and I took that Niacin, it took me back to age like 16. And I had to like relearn some things, like, bro, what? I had to relearn. I had to get back in school. I got kicked out of school. And matter of fact, I got kicked out of school because the people, somebody snitched on my apartment, first off. Whoever that was, it was some little nerdy kid, RA, he was an RA, he snitched on me, and the police came to my apartment, found a weed seed, just one seed, and kicked me out. So weed destroyed my life, man. That's why I went back to the hood and was living with my dad in the basement, because I got kicked out of college. And if I didn't smoke, I would have graduated from college years ago. So when I stopped smoking, it kind of took me back to like age 16, like, oh my gosh, bro, I'm not in school. I woke up. Some of y'all are asleep. y'all sleep with your eyes open. Okay, you sleep with your eyes open, man. The reason I did this episode because I know I can reach you. Being sober is the best thing I've ever done for myself. And I know that it seems like, you know, when you sober, man, life is boring. Not if you working, not if you busy. When I stopped smoking, I didn't stay in the hood. I got out the hood. I'll never go back to the hood. I don't care about the hood card. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not that person. I'm not going back to the hood. I don't care about the hood. I'm done with the hood. I don't owe the hood nothing. And neither do you. It's about time that we start living good. So my appeal is kick the weed to the curb, get back to being your real self, and take over the game, take over the globe. That's what it is, man. It's your man, Rick the Don. Thank you.
Let's Rick rip this shift now. You stole that lamb, you know my name. You know I don't do it unless I bring that change. Cash money ain't everything. Yeah, I said it, now let's get it. Flow unleaded, cold, ridiculous. No statistics, super vicious. Food for thought, do the kitchen. All the people say, wow, I'm back for mine now. You can get it, I can do it. Flow is cool and strictly move it. We gon' make it, watch me take it. Or you hate it, you're my greatest. Back from the ashes, baby, yeah. I'm ready to play now. Who a loser? Oh, you got it, we gon' do it. Crash the party, rockin' Harleys off the gnarly, spitting garlic. You can copy. Yeah, now I'm back on my mellow. Tell my mama hello. Tell my babies uh-oh. Gangster from the get-go. Tell your sister Geico. Say what's up to Michael. Is he crazy psycho? Yes,
I feel like to say,
Any video creators out there want to be video creators
and want to stay a star,
and don't want to be worried about companies trying to be
all in the video.
whole bunch of ads, hating. Come to VidMondo.
Cause I paid the cost, never took a loss. Golden cross, cause I like the floss, don't care what it costs.
We gon' flex, take a rain check, cause Ricky is next on your neck. Don't forget to stretch, go get you some rest. This a move.